So, NWSL. So you say you want to be with the big boys. You want to compete with the big boys. You want to be taken as a serious league. You want the same amount of respect as the MLS. You want the same amount of respect as Liga MX. You want the same amount of respect as USL. You want the same amount of respect as the NFL, the NBA, the MLB, the NHL. You said you want all that. But NWSL, are you ready for the responsibilities that come with being highly recognized? Are you ready for the media scrutiny that comes with being highly recognized and highly popular? NWSL, are you ready to receive constructive criticism? And when the criticism comes, you won't run to finger pointing and name calling and saying, "Oh, you hate women." Cause this is the issue. This is the main issue when it comes to women's sports or women's leagues and the things they complain for. Like, you say you want equal pay. You say you want equal respect. You say you want equal fame, but you don't want equal criticism. You don't want equal scrutiny. You just want us to focus on all the positive things, but ignore the negative things. It's like you're unblemished from correction, but we should just focus on all the positive things. And that's not how big business works. That's not how fame works. That is not how popularity works. If you want to be on the same level as NFL in terms of popularity, you want thousands of fans in the stadium, like the Liga MX games, the Liga MX matches. NWSL, you have to clean up your house. Now, NWSL, do I believe you have the potential of filling up stadiums? Yes, you absolutely do. Because I've already seen it in Portland. I've already seen it in Los Angeles. So the potential is there. As a matter of fact, NWSL, I strongly believe that you're going to surpass the WNBA as being the premier, most popular women's professional sport in America. I strongly believe that you're going to surpass Liga MX Femenil, which is the Mexican women's professional team. I think you're going to surpass them, if you haven't done so already, as being the top women's professional sports league in North America. Yes, NWSL, I strongly believe that you will eventually surpass WNBA, Liga MX Femenil, and women's college basketball. That you all will be more popular than UConn women's basketball within the next 20 years. I mean, look at the WNBA, for example. The WNBA has been around almost just as long as the MLS. The MLS started in 96. The WNBA started in 97. We're all the way in the year 2022. And the WNBA is still crying for fan support and fan attendance. You've been around since 97, and it's been almost, 30 years. And you're still crying for the same things you were crying for in 97, they're still crying for in 2022. The NWSL, I don't believe that's going to be you. I don't believe that's going to be you 20 years from now. I don't believe that in the year 2042, you're still going to be crying for equal pay. You're still going to be crying for fan support. I don't believe that's going to be you. I believe that you have better support. And because soccer is the Bitcoin of American sports, that you're not going to be in that same situation that the WNBA is still in. But the thing that's going to prevent you from moving forward in WSL is it's going to be based on whether or not on your ability to clean your house. I mean, this scandal that we have going on, the workplace misconduct investigation. Amanda Cromwell, her being placed on leave has made that list seven head coaches that have either been fired, suspended, or placed on leave due to the results from the workplace misconduct investigation. And we still haven't received a full statement from an NWSL to I guess because the investigation is still going on, so there could be more coaches that are forced to leave the team for a while, for a period. I don't believe that Amanda Cromwell is going to come back for something at this magnitude. And the fact that the NWSL, you're in a league, you're trying to grow in popularity. So the fact that you place this coach on leave, it's going to be hard for me to believe that you're going to allow her to come back. Because if you allow her to come back, then the question is, okay, why did you place her on leave to begin with? If she did nothing wrong, why did you place her on leave to begin with? So you're going to look dysfunctional if you allow her to come back. So I believe it's safe to assume that Cromwell won't be coming back. And the same with James Clarkson of the Houston Dash. So now the question is, NWSL, what are you going to do to make sure that this workplace misconduct doesn't happen again? How are you going to clean your image? Because the one thing that you don't want, NWSL, you don't want future players to be fearful of joining your league. NWSL, you don't want to be in the same situation as the MLS, where 90% of your star players ship to Europe every year. NWSL, I think you're more patriotic than the MLS. And I believe that more Americans could most likely gravitate to you faster than they gravitate to the MLS. Why? Because MLS stars are getting shipped to Europe every year. And MLS fans only really got, probably like 2 or 3, 4 months to really enjoy the superstar in the MLS before, Chelsea started knocking on the door, Manchester started knocking on the door, Real Madrid, AC or AS Milan, Monaco, before they start knocking on the door. And I believe that, and this hasn't been confirmed, but in the back of my mind, I believe some MLS stars fake their injuries just so they can save their body for Europe. I believe that some MLS stars opt out of playing games, acting like they're injured, just so they can save themselves, just so they can preserve their bodies for Europe. Maybe this is something that Carlos Vela is doing. Maybe Carlos Vela is not really as injured as LAFC and himself is portraying himself to be. Maybe he's just saving his body, preserving himself, so when that time he goes back to Mexico, he can still give the Mexican team his all, whatever Liga MX team that he eventually signs with. See, NWSL players, you're not like that. Most of the NWSL stars, they want to be American stars. They want to grow the sport in America. They really do care. This is why I'm saying that Americans, it's possible that they will gravitate to you, NWSL, more than the MLS. But you have to get your house in order. You have to clean this up and make sure something like this never happens again. Because NWSL, you don't want to be like the WNBA players, where you have to rely on your male counterparts to promote your league. You do not want to rely on MLS players to promote your league. Because let me tell you something about most MLS players. They got one foot in America and another foot in Europe, and then another foot in South America, and then another foot in Mexico. They're not fully ingrained in America. So you can't rely on your half-hearted male counterparts to help your league grow, because it's only a matter of time before they're gone. And lastly, NWSL, you definitely don't want to turn to activism in order for you to attract support. The day you turn to activism in WSL is the day that you turn into an enemy. As I told you in one of my other monologues, I can't remember what monologue it was. You want to welcome people to your league. You don't want to force people into supporting your league. Because when you force people to support your league, that's when the resistance will come. And that's when people will start to make excuses as to why they're not and why they don't want to support your league. So NWSL, get your house in order. Look, the final reports on this scandal should be done by this year. Before the Men's World Cup, before November. And I'll even say, if you can get this thing done before NFL preseason or before the MLS All-Star break, that'll be even better. You want to get this investigation done as soon as possible, because now it's time for us to move forward in WSL. Because you have the potential of being the top women's professional league in all of North America. I'm talking about more popular than WNBA, more popular than women's college basketball, more popular than the Liga MX Femenil, more popular than women's golf. NWSL, you have that potential, but you have to get your house in order first. So let's wrap this investigation up and give the public all the information that's needed, because you don't want to scare future NWSL players from joining your league. You don't want to scare the current high school girls and the current middle school girls. You don't want them to be afraid of joining your league, because if they become afraid of joining your league, they'll go to Canada or they'll go to Europe. And then NWSL, you basically turn it to the MLS. You basically turn it to a European developmental league. That's what the MLS currently is. The MLS is currently a European developmental league. And that's one thing you don't want to happen. So NWSL, clean your house. Get your house in order, because the potential is there. But you just got some growing up and maturing to do.
I'm in love with broken girls, 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 hey girl, 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 girl. I'm in love with broken girls, 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 hey